quick book recap. Okay, so let's dig into this. We're doing a deep dive on a book. And honestly, the title alone kind of got me thinking, and maybe a little, I don't know, intimidated. The 10X rule.
Yeah, it's a strong title.
Right. A listener actually sent this one over, and they had a specific question. Basically, what's 10X really mean? Is it just doing more stuff? And like, how could I use this in my normal life, not just for, some big CEO?
Uh-huh.
My first thought was, wait, does this mean I have to work 10 times harder? Because if that's the case, I might need a coffee break already.
Yeah, that's totally the first place most people's minds go.
Yeah.
And it's like the biggest thing people get wrong about the book.
Oh.
What's really interesting is the 10X rule. It's not just about grinding harder. And it's absolutely not just for business folks.
Yeah.
The real core idea, it's about changing how you think and how much you do. Completely. It means you got to multiply your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions by 10. The author, Grant Cardone, he basically says, look, if you want to guarantee success, like really guarantee it, you have to get real about how much effort and thinking it actually takes. And his whole point is, most of us, we just wildly underestimate what's needed for like anything we want to succeed at.
Anything, like not just work.
Yeah, anything. Your spiritual life, your health, your fitness, how you feel mentally, emotionally, family stuff. Yeah, money too, obviously. It's supposed to be a rule for your whole life.
Wow, okay, so if 10X is this massive, like, aim super high thing, what's actually wrong with just being normal? Isn't it okay to just be average, comfortable?
Right.
The book kind of comes out swinging, saying average is a failing formula. That sounds, I don't know, kind of mean about just being normal.
Does sound harsh, doesn't it? And that's exactly why that part makes you kind of stop and go, whoa, wait a minute. Why is normal or average painted as like this dangerous thing?
Yeah.
So the book argues that doing just the normal amount of stuff is risky because everyone thinks it's fine, it's acceptable. But it doesn't actually prepare you for when things get bumpy.
Bumpy how?
Well, think about it like this. The book throws out some stats, like the average worker reads maybe less than one book a year. Works about, 37, 38 hours a week?
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right.
But then you compare that to these top CEOs reading like 60-plus books a year, making, hundreds of times more money. The point is, when things hit the fan, maybe the economy tanks or you face a big personal challenge, those normal levels of action, they just aren't enough.
I see.
Your efforts can just kind of crumble. The author even talks about his own experience, how he got into trouble when he sort of coasted a bit, wasn't really operating with that 10X mindset.
Right.
So the message is really clear. Average levels of anything will fail you, or at the very least, put you at risk.
Yeah.
He uses this crazy image, like trying to carry a 1,000-pound backpack.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, into like a 40-mile-an-hour wind, uphill on a steep slope. That's the kind of preparation, the level of effort he says you need. Not just for huge disasters, but just for everyday success, too.
Wow, okay. 1,000-pound backpack.
Yeah, that definitely makes average feel less comfy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, okay, average is out. What's step 2? How do we actually aim for this 10X thing? Yeah. Especially with something basic like, setting goals. And honestly, that chapter title, Competition is for Sissies, that just sounds super aggressive. Is he really saying ignore everybody else?
It is intense, yeah. And that's kind of the point. The book's take is that most people fail because their goals are just too small.
Too small. How?
Well, small goals don't really get you fired up, right? They don't create enough excitement or give you the fuel you need for that massive action we were talking about.
Makes sense.
What's really interesting is the author's own habit. He apparently writes his goals down every single day.
Every day. Yep. And he sets goals that are like just beyond what seems possible right now. And get this, he writes them like they've already happened.
Oh, like affirmations.
Sort of, but super specific, like I own 5,000 plus apartments, or my net worth is over $100 million. It's that daily practice plus the sheer size of the goals that keeps him, driven. It's not just setting a big goal once, it's making it part of your daily thinking.
Okay. Daily goals, written down, already achieved.
So.
Got it. What about the competition thing?
Right. So that flows straight from the idea that there is no shortage of success.
What does that mean? Success isn't limited.
Exactly. The book pushes back hard against that common idea that success is like, a pizza. If I get a big slice, you get less.
Yeah, I kind of think like that sometimes.
Most people do. But the book says, no, success is created. It's not like gold or oil where there's only so much. Think about it like Warren Buffett getting incredibly wealthy didn't stop other people from making money, did it?
No, I guess not.
Or Google getting huge didn't mean Facebook couldn't exist, right?
Right.
So the book talks about having a domination mentality, which sounds aggressive again, I know.
Yeah, a little.
But it's not about crushing competitors like in a race. It's about being so good, so present in whatever you do, that you become the only logical choice. People don't even think about anyone else.
Like the go-to person or company.
Exactly. Like how IBM used to just be PCs, or Xerox was copiers.
Hmm.
The real insight here is doing stuff your competitors just won't do. He calls them only practices.
Only practices. I like that.
He tells this wild story about a company, I think it was a car dealership maybe. They started calling customers like the second they drove off the lot.
Whoa, really? Isn't that annoying?
You'd think. But the results were apparently nuts. Like nearly half the people turned around and came right back. And of those, like 80% bought something.
Get out. That's amazing.
Right. So it's not just about beating the competition on their terms. It's about setting a whole new standard they can't even touch.
Okay, only practices. That's definitely sticking with me. It flips competition completely. But thinking about some of these ideas, man, some of those chapter titles still make me kind of pause.
Which ones?
Like, obsession isn't a disease, it's a gift. And even more, fear is the great indicator. I get the obsession part maybe fuels action, but isn't there a line like burnout or it becoming unhealthy? Does the book talk about that?
That's a fair point.
And then fear. Like, we spend our lives trying not to be scared. How on earth can fear be a good thing? That feels really counterintuitive.
Totally. These are definitely the concepts that make people shift uncomfortably, you know?
Mm.
But the book tries to totally reframe them. Obsession, for instance. It argues that's actually supernatural. Think about little kids, how they get completely absorbed in learning something new or just playing.
Yeah, totally. Laser focus.
Right. But then society often tells us to calm down, don't be weird,
Mm-hmm.
labels it negatively, until someone gets massively successful doing that exact thing. Then suddenly, oh, that obsession, it's genius now.
Huh. Good point.
So successful people, the book argues, often don't even feel like they're working because they're just genuinely obsessed. It's a gift because it gives you endless energy, endless drive. And to your burnout question, the implication is if your purpose is big enough, the obsession fuels you. It doesn't drain you. It just feels natural.
A big enough why. Okay, what about fear then?
Okay, fear. This is a big one. The book makes this really bold claim. If you're not feeling fear, you're probably not pushing yourself enough. You're staying in your comfort zone.
So fear means I'm doing something right.
Basically, yeah. Fear, in this view, is actually a sign that you are doing what's needed to move in the right direction. It even uses that acronym, FEAR, false events appearing real.
Ah, I've heard that one.
Right. Most stuff we worry about never actually happens.
Yeah.
But the key insight here is that time makes fear worse.
How?
If you put off doing something scary, like, I don't know, making that difficult phone call,
Oh, yeah.
the longer you wait, the bigger the fear gets in your head. Right?
Totally, it balloons.
So the book's advice is simple. Act now. The best time is always right now. It argues it's way better to, like, try something and maybe fail than to just sit there overthinking, over-preparing, and never actually do anything. Failure by inaction.
Okay, so fear is like a compass pointing towards growth, and you just got to move fast.
Pretty much. Immediate action is the antidote, and then there's criticism.
Oh, yeah, what about that?
The book says criticism is a sign of success. If people are taking the time to criticize you, it means you're making waves, you're getting noticed, you're probably doing something significant.
Never thought of it that way.
He tells this story about a client complaining his team was doing too much follow-up, too persistent.
Okay, so he told them to back off.
Nope. He actually rewarded his staff for it. He realized the complaint just proved how effective they were being. And guess what? They ended up closing the deal. And later, the client was apparently like, man, those guys follow up like maniacs, but in an admiring way.
Yeah.
So it flips the scripts, right?
Yeah.
It asks you, basically, are you willing to take some heat if it means you're actually getting somewhere important?
That is a massive mindset shift.
Right.
For both fear and criticism. It's like rewiring your brain, but man, it all sounds exhausting. Like you have to be firing on all cylinders, 110% all the time.
Yeah, it sounds intense.
So how does the book talk about going all in, like it says, without just completely crashing and burning? It feels unsustainable, maybe?
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it could be. But the book clarifies what all in means. It's not necessarily about risking all your money, though sometimes that might be involved. It's more about putting everything else on the line.
Like what?
Like all your effort, your creativity, your energy, your best ideas, your persistence, all of it. And the cool thing is that the book points out you never actually run out of those things. Those are like your action chips.
Action chips, I like that.
Yeah, you can go all in with your energy today, and if it doesn't work out, you wake up tomorrow, and guess what? You've got more energy, more creativity to try again. You can fail and go all in again and again.
Okay, so it's not a finite resource like money.
Exactly. And it actually mocks that old saying, undercommit and overdeliver.
Oh, I thought that was good advice.
The book calls it backward and ridiculous. It says, no, you should overcommit and overdeliver.
Whoa.
Because overcommitting forces you to stretch, to operate at a higher level than you thought you could. It gets rid of excuses. It makes you find ways to deliver. Think about the tortoise and the hare story.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, the book says, why choose? Be fast like the hare and persistent like the tortoise. Attack hard and fast right from the start, but then keep that relentless energy going until you cross the finish line.
Okay, attack fast and keep going. Got it.
And this links right into another really big idea. Expand, never contract, especially when times are tough.
Expand when things are bad. Isn't that when everyone pulls back?
Exactly. When everyone else is cutting back, getting scared, saving pennies, the 10X mindset says, this is my opportunity.
How?
The author talks about his own business during a big recession. Everyone else was laying people off, cutting marketing budgets.
Right. Standard playbook.
He did the opposite. He actually cut his own salary way down so he could increase his marketing spend and hire more salespeople. He apparently spent more on promoting his business in like 18 months than he had in the previous 18 years.
That's insane. Did it work?
Apparently, yes, massively. His quote was something like, I would rather die in expansion than die in contraction. I would rather fail pushing forward than in retreat.
Wow. That takes guts.
For sure. And he stresses it's not always about spending money you don't have. It's about expanding your 10X actions, your energy, your creativity. Those are often more valuable than cash anyway. So even personally, if things feel tough, the idea is push harder, learn more, reach out more, create more. Don't shrink back.
Expand effort and energy, not just budgets.
And the ultimate kind of crazy end goal of all this expansion is what the book calls omnipresence.
Omnipresence, like being everywhere.
Yeah. Being everywhere all the time in your space. Think about huge brands like Coca-Cola or Google or famous people like Oprah. They achieve this state where they are just unavoidable in their field.
Okay, I get that for a giant company, but for a person.
Well, the book argues your name or what you represent is your single most important asset, but it's worthless if nobody knows it. So the author's personal goal was to be omnipresent in sales training. He wanted billions of people, when they thought sales, to think of him.
Billions, seriously.
Yep. And he says that huge purpose is what fuels the crazy action. It's not just about making a buck. So driven by that, he churned out an insane amount of content in like a year and a half. Something like 700 training videos, 600 radio interviews, 150 articles, 2,000 social media posts.
Whoa, that's 10X action right there.
Absolutely. He wanted to be unavoidable, so people would see him everywhere. It ties into another one of his sayings. The best revenge is massive success. Make yourself so successful, so visible, that nobody can ignore you.
Man, okay, that is definitely not normal thinking at all. We've gone from like questioning why being average is bad all the way to embracing fear and aiming to be everywhere. It's a huge shift.
It really is.
So let's try and wrap this up for us, for the listener. What are the absolute core must-know takeaways from the 10X rule? The things someone could actually start thinking about or doing like today, not just for work, but for anything.
Okay, yeah. If you boil it all down, the real heart of the 10X rule comes down to a few powerful principles. They can genuinely change any part of your life. First one, assume control for everything.
Take responsibility.
Total responsibility.
Yeah.
Success happens because of you, your actions, your thinking. Not to you by luck. Good stuff, bad stuff, you own it.
Okay.
Second, love challenges. Don't see problems as setbacks. See them as chances to win, opportunities to prove yourself and grow. They're fuel.
Right, like the fear thing.
Exactly. Third, persist until successful. Just keep going. Keep pushing until all that pushback you get eventually turns into support. This isn't luck. It's a skill, a muscle you build.
Okay. Persistence.
Fourth, be unreasonable. Don't let what other people think is practical or realistic limit your dreams. The biggest breakthroughs always seem unreasonable at first.
Dream bigger than seems possible.
Yeah.
Got it.
Fifth, readily take action. Action isn't just something you do sometimes. It's a habit. You build it like any other habit. And this ties into that controversial point. The book actually calls laziness an ethical issue.
Whoa, hang on. Laziness is an ethical issue. That sounds really harsh. Like, what if someone's really struggling, facing huge obstacles? Is it fair to call that laziness? How does the book explain that?
Yeah, it's a super strong statement, and it definitely needs context. It's a great question. The book isn't really talking about someone who's genuinely unable to act because of, you know, serious health issues or massive external barriers they have zero control over. It's more focused on the gap between what you could potentially do, your capabilities, and what you're actually choosing to do.
Mm-hmm.
The argument is that everyone has a sort of ethical responsibility to use their potential.
Your responsibility. To who?
To themselves, first and foremost, but also to their family, their community, maybe even the world, depending on the scale of their potential. When you consciously hold back, settle for way less than you're capable of, the book frames it as not just letting yourself down, but also withholding the contribution you could be making. It's about accountability for your own God-given talents and abilities.
Okay, that's a challenging perspective. But I see the distinction. So it's about potential versus actual output.
Exactly. And moving on. Sixth principle. Always say yes. Be open to new things, new adventures, new opportunities, even if they feel a bit scary or outside your comfort zone. Just say yes more often.
Okay, say yes.
Seventh, habitually commit. Don't just try things, go all in.
Yeah.
Fully commit. When you're truly committed, the book says, all the excuses just vanish.
Commit fully. No trying.
Eighth, be highly ethical. And again, this isn't just the basics like don't steal. In the 10X world, it also means fulfilling your potential, honoring your commitments to yourself and others. That gap we talked about between capability and action, the book sees closing that gap as part of being ethical.
Wow, ethics tied to potential. Okay.
And the last one, reach up in relationships. Surround yourself with people who push you, people who are smarter, more successful, better connected. You become like the people you spend time with, so aim high. You don't go to a white belt to learn black belt karate moves, right?
Yeah, good analogy. Okay, so putting it all together, this 10X rule, it's really, really not just about working 10 times the hours.
Not at all.
It's about thinking 10 times bigger, setting goals that honestly might seem crazy at first, and then backing it up with a massive, consistent, maybe even what others would call unreasonable action.
You got it.
It's about aiming to dominate your chosen space, whatever that is. Could be your job, your health, your contribution to your family or community. It really forces you to rethink what's actually possible, not just in one area, but like across your whole life.
That's the core of it, absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave you with, something the book really hammers home. If you're not experiencing fear, you are not taking new actions.
Oof.
Think about that. What's one fear, maybe even a small one, that you could face down today? What action could you take that feels a little scary to just start flexing that 10X muscle?
That's a really practical, powerful question. Okay, so what does your 10X look like? How could you maybe start applying some of these pretty intense ideas in your own life, your family, maybe a project you care about, or just your own future goals? Definitely something to chew on.